Subscribe my channel and hit the bell to be notified for the coming videos.
Today's equations, which equivalent on formulas in math, we use them to generate our formulas for finding unknowns or variables. First of all, the table of contents, we are going to cover these topics, the equations first, the definition of equations, the history of equations, from when they developed, who were the first people who used equations, and the third, equation terminology. In equation we have some terms which we use them, there are some words we use them with equations, and types of equation, which we have 4 types of equations.
As we know, we use equations in our life, even in simple things. If you don't know anything about equations, we use it. Now we are going to talk about it, what is a formula of the equation and how do we use it. First, equation is a mathematical statement where two expressions are equal, connecting them with the equal sign. So, how do we recognize equations? First, by equal sign. By equal sign. If it was equal, it is not an equation. Okay? If it was greater than, smaller than, or greater than, it will be inequality. So, we recognize equations by equal sign. It means that we have two expressions that is equal to each other. Let's take an example in our life that we use every day. How do we use equation? Even maybe we don't know how to use it, but we use it actually. For example, you go to the market and you want to buy a kilo of tomato. 1 kilo of tomato. It is a tomato, and there are 6 kilos and 4 kilos. It is some tomatoes. You don't know how many kilos it is, but you want to know. How do you know? We put the variable, the unknown, because you don't know. We put the unknown, that is x or y or z, no problem, whatever you use. And we have 4 kilos here and 6 kilos here. How do we know? In order to subtract it, it will be 2. It means that the tomato is 2 kilo. We are using equation here, but sometimes we don't realize it, but we are using actually.
Okay, the history of equations. The first people who used equations were ancient Egyptians. For example, they had a shed or number of cows. They were 4, and only 2 of them were appeared. We don't know the number which are disappeared. So here we use the equation as Muhammad talked about before, like this example. And after them, the Romans used equations as well. And the word equation actually derived from a Latin word which was equation, means equality. And Al-Khwarizmi. What was Al-Khwarizmi? Al-Khwarizmi was a Persian mathematician or astronomer and geographer. Was lived in the 9th century. He had contributed a lot to math and especially to equations. One of his contribution is introduction of variables. Al-Khwarizmi was among the first mathematicians to use letters. So Al-Khwarizmi was a person who used variables or unknowns like x or y, and the second contribution, linear equations. Al-Khwarizmi provides systematic methods for solving linear equations of the form x plus b is equal to c. So Al-Khwarizmi developed or found some techniques to solve this kind of equation, which we call it general form. And the third one, algorithm. What's algorithm? Algorithm means doing something step by step in order. For example, a real life example, while you are wearing your clothes, you have to first wear your socks, after that wear your shoes. You cannot first wear your shoes after that the socks. So it's an simple example for algorithm, which we use in a lot of areas in life, like programming or maths or other areas, and Al-Khwarizmi used algorithms to solve equations.
Now we are going to talk about equation terminology and what an equation contains of. Let's see, first we have a variable, as we mentioned, it is a x, a symbol or often a letter, like I said, z or a, no problem whatever you use. They are present and unknown or any quantity of, like I said, you don't know the value of a thing, and you use x for it, that we call it variable. Like it mentioned here, the x is variable. And we have constant. This is a numerical value that doesn't change. It is a number that doesn't change. Okay, it is not like the coefficient or others. Constant doesn't change like that. The constant we have is 9. The coefficient numerical factor multiplying a variable in term, it is with a variable and it may change. For example, in the term like 3x, the variable and the coefficient. The coefficient here is 2 and the constant, the variable, like I mentioned. We have term, a single mathematical expression often consisting of variables, constants and coefficient, all of them we call term. Expression, a combination of numbers, variable, like I said, it is just like term. And
the first type of the four types of linear equations is linear equations, which are currently studying linear equations. This equation, which we call one-degree equation, or the highest exponent of x is 1, like here, the highest exponent of x is 1, and we said we can have the highest exponent of x also is 0.
The second type of equations is quadratic equation. We have got these equations in order to have more information about equations. This equation, a quadratic equation, is a second-order equation. What does it mean? Which means it contains a minimum of one variable, that the equation with an exponent of 2. The linear equation was exponent was 1, but quadratic is 2. We use quadratic to know the area of enclosed spaces, squares, like that. It is somehow complicated. We don't have to know about everything about quadratic equation. Just for our more information, to finding the area of an enclosed space. And we have some other types of equations like cubic equation. The exponent is 3, a radical equation, as we studied a little of it. But like I said, just for our more information, we have these types of equations too.
Those all we go from